Well, hello and welcome to this session of ExecuNet Masterclass. I'm your host, Tony Vlahos, and my guest this hour is world-renowned branding expert and international best-selling author, Mr. Martin Lindstrom. So where are you searching for insight about how to build a phenomenal brand or business? If you answered, I only trust the numbers, or big data, I'm sorry, you won't find what you're looking for there. Today, Martin will provide you a glimpse into the world of small data, which is where you'll uncover emotional clues about your customers that can lead your business to extraordinary results. Really important stuff, and part of our commitment here at ExecuNet to connect you with trusted advice you can use to transform how you work and how you observe and interact with the world around you.
My advice to you is to pause for a second and start to observe much more. And as you train that muscle, so to speak, you suddenly actually become better at seeing things. And you'll be surprised. The first thing you do my exercise, basically to allow yourself not to be together with your phone for just an hour, somewhere, sometime during the day, you'll notice it's really hard. You feel alone, you feel insecure, whatever it is. It sounds crazy, but really that's how you feel. And then you start to notice details. Now, guess what? I've learned one thing. In the world of blind, the one-eyed is the one with the power. This is you now starting to open your one eye. As you do that, you will notice all these things. And if you train your employees or your staff to do the same, you'll start to see things you haven't seen before. Now, big data is easy to implement. It costs a lot, but it's easy. Small data is even easier because you basically just ask your teams to spend time with customers, spend time in their homes, go out shopping with them, spend time in their offices, whatever industry you belong to, and start to pick up those small details. Ask them to come back to the office now, share that on a wall, and then start to see a pattern. And you will very, very quickly notice a small pattern. And that little pattern will reveal an insight about where is there an opportunity. So, Tony, my feedback to you is everyone can do it, but you need to train the muscle. You need to train that ability of observing, and that takes time. But guess what? Once you train your teams, your staff to do that, you are miles ahead of everyone else because no one else does it. Today, we just believe we can believe in those big data, and nothing could be further from the truth.
What do brands need to do differently in the future with respect to how we segment our audiences? Most of what we do is, of course, based on very old and faulty processes, and they're based on demographics and what people call psychographics, all that stuff. What should we be doing differently to better understand our audience, aside from, what you described?
Well, I think it's fair to say the ordinary demographics are out of the window because we're mixing and matching our lives in such a strange way. It may be one day I go down to McDonald's and buy my food, and 3 hours later I go to a fine dining restaurant. In the old days, you would have said it's completely different people. Today, we know we have a very diverse, very mixed life, so we can't use conventional demographics in order to segment people. What we do is we use music and we use videos and movies as a segmentation tool. So your viewing habits, in particular what movies you are watching, what mood you are in, and what you're doing straight after is actually the segmentation tool I quite often use. So when we have huge segmentation walls, we actually have it based on movies because movies quite often reveal an insight about who you are. Um, I just want to wrap up with a very quick story. What's the reason why we love one movie and we watch it again and again? Well, it's not because we forgot about the ending or we forgot about the plot or something. It's because the first time we watched it, we had a certain emotion, and that emotion we want to reactivate again and again later on. That's the reason why we re-watch the same movie again and again. What we do is we look at that particular emotion and why you have it and how it makes you feel and why it makes you feel that way. And that actually is the core insight about a consumer, which we then later on use as the foundation for doing a new format of segmentation. So we're trying to be slightly more sophisticated, and all of this is basically based on some of my previous writings. One of the books is called Biology, B-U-Y, biology, and that book was based on the largest neuroscience study in the world, where we scanned more than 2,000 consumer brain using fMRI. And one of the things we learned was that deep emotions quite often is activated when you watch movies.